We should do this review in the trunk.
We should what?
Do this review in the trunk.
Oh shit, the light in the fucking cell phone's going out. Damn.
God damn it.
The light keeps going on in there, so we have to keep opening the trunk back up and down. Okay, well, this is the second fucking WWE movie I've seen in a goddamn week. And honestly, it's better than Dead Man Down.
You know what? This was a movie that could have been good. Like, it had potential to be really good, and it just fucking blew it.
Oh god, no, it's not very good. There was a lot more of this movie than I liked in Dead Man Down, and if you had told me a few weeks ago that between this and Dead Man Down, this would be the better movie, I'd be like, well, that means that Dead Man Down is nothing like the trailer. Guess what? This wasn't
really like the trailer either.
Kind of.
I mean,
more so than the Dead Man Down one, because the plot of this is the plot that's in the trailer.
That is true.
It's a high concept film. It's very much like, you could compare it to something like Cellular, but Cellular was a much better movie than this. There was, for the first, this is about a 90-minute movie. For the first, I would say, 70 minutes of it, I was kind of like, this is actually fairly suspenseful. It would be suspenseful, and then something stupid would happen.
Just and not even a stupid thing in the movie, just a stupid, like, editing choice or directing choice.
No, stupid things also happen in the movie.
Stupid things happen in the movie, but the shit that took me out of it was just, like, the stupid directing and editing choices that were very apparent through the thing. But
yeah.
Continue. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's the plot of it is like you see in the trailer. There's a serial killer who's abducting girls. Halle Berry is the 911 operator. She took the first call and fucked up when the girl was hiding and it got disconnected and she hit the redial button and it called her back and the phone gave her away. So the killer came in and got her, and yeah, that's like stupid of her to do, but they did call her out on that in the movie.
They call her out on it, but also in the movie, the scene is long enough and has enough suspense to it that it does seem like she was just kind of lost in the moment, and it wasn't
because it happened quick, it was a mistake, and you can so that's a stupid thing that a character does that you were like, okay, you can kind of understand how that happened, and it is addressed in the movie.
And there are repercussions, she becomes fucked up as a person because of it.
Yeah, and she starts teaching 911 operators instead of actually being on call, and then the same thing happens again. The killer comes back, he kidnaps Abigail Breslin, throws her in the trunk, and she has her friend's cell phone with her, so she's able to call 911. And so Halle Berry jumps on the call because the person who gets the call is like a rookie and doesn't really know how to handle it, so Halle Berry jumps on the call. And then for about the next hour, it's Halle Berry on the phone with this girl, and it's dumb shit kind of happens, but for the most part, it was fairly solid. She's really, Halle Berry's really good. The soundtrack was good. Abigail Breslin was good. The killer is good. So every now and then something stupid would happen, like the Michael Imperioli thing, which did not in any way, shape, or form need to be in the fucking movie.
No, it was unnecessary.
Michael Imperioli fucking shows up at one point because Halle Berry asks Abigail Breslin to dump paint out the knocked out taillight, and she starts dumping paint out of it because he's got equipment shit back there because he's also renovating this house, and so she's dumping that in the back, and Michael Imperioli's in the car next to them, like, hey, roll your window down. The guy does that. You got paint leaking out the back of your car. And the guy's like, oh shit, veers the car over into this empty parking lot, opens the trunk, grabs Abigail Breslin, you fucking do that again, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then he turns around and Imperioli is saying hey, are you alright? With the whole paint thing? Like, I'm fine, man. I'm fine. Oh, okay. So Imperioli, instead of getting in the car and driving away and then maybe calling 911, he just gets right in his car, starts dialing 911, puts the phone to his head. Of course the fucking killer knocks his windshield out and grabs him and beats him with a shovel. Fucking, and during all of this, I'm pretty sure Breslin could have fucking escaped. So I was like, why didn't she just, like, at least try to, like, run during that whole scuffle? So then, like...
Oh, no, the trunk was closed at that point.
He closed the trunk at that point? Alright. But there's still moments where she could have fucking... Like, when she crawls through the back of the thing, and...
She could have gotten a lot further if she had just kept crawling instead of screaming.
Yeah, she could have fit through that fucking thing. So yeah, Imperioli's, like, in the trunk, he wakes up, help! Help! And dude fucking opens the trunk and just stabs him to death. Us explaining this whole thing is seriously as long as he's in the fucking movie. That was so, that did not need to be in the fucking movie. You could establish some other way that he gets, like, another car. So yeah, something dumb like that would happen, but other parts were fairly suspenseful, like her waving her arm out the tail light hole, and that even some of the we were talking about this too, the direction is very schizo like that too, because in some parts it's well directed.
In some parts it's like all the scenes in the call center are really well directed.
That stuff's really well done.
Anything with the police is really well done.
Yeah.
And I thankfully there are cops in the movie.
Yeah.
And they're good at their jobs.
Yeah.
Like, it's impressive. It's they're actually behaving like cops, except for one thing we'll get to later.
Oh, okay.
The one thing that the cops is just like, stupid fucking cops.
We're gonna devote the last fucking act of this review to that.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, there's parts where, like, and most of this movie does take place in the call center or in the trunk of the car, which is actually a good setup for this movie. And if when they fucked this movie up is when they broke that dynamic. But that shit's good. Anything in what they call the Hive, the call center, was great.
I like that some of, like, the calls you would hear in the background almost sounded like Frasier call-ins. Yeah. Like, they were just like, oh, damn, man, my girl just fell out the 14th floor of my building. Yeah. Your girlfriend fell out the window? Yeah, man. Like, what the fuck is going on there? I want to see that fucking movie. How the hell did that happen? Oh shit, I done shot my girlfriend. Yeah. Like, shit like that you keep hearing and they're like, what is going on?
You know, and those scenes are fine and Halle Berry's good.
Yeah.
But then there are weird directing choices, like, every time, like, okay, I get it's hard to direct in a fucking trunk, but at the same time, like, watch Buried. Like, it's not a great movie, but a whole movie takes place inside a coffin, and it's really well directed. Why couldn't this be that?
Some of the stylistic choices they did in the trunk, I thought were, like, when they used some, like, weird kind of close-ups, it gave it a very kind of claustrophobic feel.
I hated those close-ups.
I had more of a problem with every time something violent happened,
the camera started shaking.
The camera went all shaky cam shit, and then did
there were freeze frames.
Freeze frames.
Yeah, it's just like, he's lunging at the guy, they hit the hood, freeze, camera angle change, continue motion. And it's just like that, it takes you out of the violence, because all the violence in this movie is very sudden and quick, and
I was surprised to see this was an R. Yeah. Like, having seen it, I know why it's an R, but before then I was like, all the trailers just kind of screamed PG-13 serial killer movie, so they released it with an R,
all
that's
the violence in it is very quick and very, very kind of realistic, but those little freeze frames and shit like that, it's just, it took you out of how brutal that scene was.
It did. Dear God, it did. But then other parts looked good. Like, a lot of the driving scenes looked good. A lot of
the helicopter stuff looked great.
The helicopter stuff looked really good. A lot of stuff with, like, you know, his face would be here, and you can see a lot of stuff, like, in the background with the city and everything. That looked good. You know what? Even some of those close-ups, some of them I did like.
It's just,
Not all of
They
not
were-
all of them, but some of
they
them
weren't
I did.
effective to me because I mean, at first it's like, oh, we're hiding the killer's face. We're hiding the killer's face. Like we're focusing on his mouth or his nose or like just this part of his sunglasses and shit like that. And then when they reveal his face, it's really it's not a big reveal. It's just like
No.
you're building a lot of tension for fucking nothing, really.
It was a lot of tension built for nothing because it's not like he turns out to be somebody else who
Yeah.
was like in the call center or something.
No,
I'm glad they didn't do that, but like
No, that would have sucked.
yeah, but like it was because it wasn't like when it does show his face, it's not like it's a big reveal. It's like, oh, okay, so they're showing his
Yeah.
face now, you know. Which, I'm glad they did. The guy did a good job. The guy was solid. But I liked it. I kind of liked your idea though that throughout the movie, Roma Mafia, who plays the head of the call center, she says to Halle Berry, like, once the call's done, that's it. Like, you know,
Your job's done,
Your
yeah.
job's done.
Which has to be the point. I mean,
Yeah.
and they make a point of that, and it's just like there's a point where the call's done, and
And-
they should have just ended they actually went to black, and I was just like, really? That would be awesome if they it actually would have been a great ending point.
That would have been kind of clever. Like, it would have had no third act at all, which, given what the third act was...
I would have preferred it.
Yeah, so yeah, like, once, like, the call ends, like, no, he's like, well, that's it. Roma Mafia's like, that's it, you gotta go home, and then it kind of cuts to black, and Dave's like, wouldn't it be great if this was, like, the end? Because the call's over, like, that's what they said earlier in the movie, like, sometimes you don't get, they literally say that, so you just
you
don't
don't-
get closure or anything. That kind of would have been a little clever.
That would have been.
Like, that would have pissed some motherfuckers off, but that would have been...
Oh, I would have. That would have been like the quick ending that I would have been cool with. They just have to drag out the good parts of the movie where it's the back and forth. I mean, they could have ended on the, the police are here, and like then ended it and not really shown what happened, but the police are there.
But the police handle the rest of it. Yeah.
But like the end of, Reservoir Dogs, where you can hear the cops outside, but you don't see them. They could have done that. It would have been great.
Yeah, it would have been much... This is a little thing that I kind of liked. One little thing that I did like, it was... There's a part in the movie where when the killer knocks her out, he punches her in the face. And they really... It looked like she just fucking got punched in the face with the makeup they do.
No, that was a really good black eye.
That was really good. Like, they puff out her face and give her this big fucking swollen ass black eye. I know that's like a little thing, but I really liked that.
No, there were actually really good parts of this movie, but it's just
And then the
third
last act of the movie shits on all of that, because really, I'm gonna be honest. Before then, I might have recommended this movie. I probably would
I might
have
have recommended it as a rental.
Uh-huh.
I'd have been like, it's a movie with potential that didn't really quite live up to it because of bad editing and some weak directing choices.
Well, I didn't think the movie really looked all that good, so in the first 2/3 of the movie, it was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
No,
Like,
same here. The
yeah.
first about 20 minutes into the movie, I was like, are they gonna drag this out long enough for it to be good and let me get invested in it before they ruin it? And then, sure enough, just as I'm like, that point where I was like, wouldn't it be great if they ended the movie here?
Yeah.
I was serious. I was like, because then I'd be like, I'd be happy.
You want to go into what happens? Because, dear God, I was fucking in my seat, I'll mention it in a sec.
So she's sitting there, she's replaying the call on her little headset, listening to it. She gets this audio clue, and on a whim, she fucking drives out there through all the police stops.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and by the way, throughout the course of this, we should state that they figure out who the kidnapper is.
His face is all over the news. They know who he is. He's got, like, a family,
Yeah.
kids.
They go to his home. They find out he has like a cabin they find, and they kind of touch upon, like, maybe the weakest reason to be a serial killer ever. Like, he's kidnapping blonde girls because his sister was blonde, and was he in love with his sister who died from cancer or some shit like that?
That was weird. What the fuck was that? That shot where he was like making out with her? Yeah. Like, was this?
I don't know that it was making out. It was just maybe like a kiss.
Okay.
And
it was still weird. I was like, is there something incestual going on?
I possibly, but I don't think that was. I think it's implied, but I don't even think from that picture. If I saw like a picture of like two kids that were siblings at a young age and one's dying of cancer and there's like a little kiss peck thing.
That was full mouth on
mouth. Yeah, that was full. I mean, but that was just unnecessary and weird and like. In that cut shot where she's looking through those, we'll get to this in a second. But okay, so in his house, he's got this little shrine to his dead sister. He's got a wife and kids, and he's got a nice home, and then the fucking suburbs and shit. And they've got this land with this little cabin, and of course the old house on it had burned down, so there's just a fucking cabin in the back. And the cops know all this. They go to his house. They go to the cabin.
Yeah.
They look around the cabin. Nothing there. So they're setting up roadblocks because they know the car's around there. And then they just fucking leave that cabin. Now, I don't know police procedure at all, but you would think you have a suspect. You've probably got an officer standing outside of his home just in case he goes home.
Yeah.
You would think that maybe you'd leave a squad car. Just one.
Somebody. I'm sitting. And Halle Berry, just flashlight in hand,
just walks
goes into this guy's cabin. I'm in the seat like it lost me at this point.
Brad
like,
just suddenly goes, "Where are the police?"
Yeah, where are the fucking cops?
Exactly. It's the trailer. That's when the trailer started. Right there. It was a movie, and then the trailer started.
Yes.
So
she just goes in there and searching around, and like. She goes outside and finds a trap door
because she hears the noise that she heard on the call.
Yeah, the flagpole was making noise in the background of one of the calls. But so she's out there. She finds a trap door in the ground, opens it up. It's obvious that's where the fucking killer is. Yeah. Like there's no chance the killer is not fucking down there. And so
and at first you think she's gonna do the smart thing because she pulls out her cell phone.
Yeah,
and you're like. At first I was like, wait, are they going to take this back in and call the cops? Because that would be great. No, she drops her phone down the fucking hole.
So, those phones, right? Maybe she paid a lot for her phone. So you can't just fucking leave that down there. So she just climbs down this fucking ladder in this goddamn bunker.
Wait. I just want to touch upon this. She drops her phone down a hole about a story deep. And it's an iPhone. And it's fine. I've dropped my phone out of my pocket while sitting at a restaurant and it's shattered.
You know what? I can
let that go for movie's sake?
Not even for movie's sake. I can actually kind of vouch for that. My phone, I can set my phone on the middle of the fucking table and it will still find a way to fall on the floor. This phone has fallen on the floor many more times than I've used it. And it has like some cracks on the back of it. But it's some of those, maybe she has one like mine that's just fucking indestructible.
Yours isn't indestructible, it's broken.
It still works.
It still works, but I mean...
It's on the back of it.
But you didn't drop it down a story.
I might as many times as I fucking dropped this goddamn thing. No, dude, I've dropped this thing, yeah.
Not like 14 fucking feet straight down onto concrete.
That wasn't 14 feet. That was probably not 14 feet. That was maybe like... I'm
just saying her phone would have fucking broke.
Fucking feet. I've dropped my phone that far before.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have. I'm not... Why would I lie about that?
What have you been 9 feet... Like, did you drop it down a fucking stairwell?
Yes, I did. Because I live in a house with stairs.
You dropped it all the way down the stairs.
Yes,
From the top of the stairs, just
Is it really that unbelievable?
Yes, it is.
How?
Because I
had my phone in my hand and I was grabbing the rail and it slipped and fell off of it onto the hardwood floor.
How far up were you?
At the top of my stairs.
Fuck it, it's beside the point. It's beside the fucking point.
The point is, it's impossible to drop a phone down my stairs, apparently. I'm not lying, too. It is cracked. Here, I'll show you.
Oh, let's just get back to the fucking movie.
No, this is better than the movie.
Point.
See? It's cracked. Well, fuck, you can't fucking see it. But trust me, there's cracks on it.
Yeah, but you did that out of your pocket at the bar the other night.
No, there were some cracks on there before that. Some of these are from that, but this one up here is probably from when I dropped it down the stairs. I don't know. This thing, I'm not even kidding. This fucking thing will just find every way possible to fall on the fucking ground. It's very slippery.
Buy a fucking case for it, man.
That's expensive, dude.
No, it's not.
I gotta pay so we can go see The Call and they can see Burt Wonderstone.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Anyway, she climbs down into the death pit.
Down the fucking death pit. And just, with her flashlight in hand, instead of just, fucking calling the cops or doing what...
Picking up her phone, going back up the ladder really quick. Like, running like hell, calling the police, anything. She gets down there, hears the girl scream, and decides to investigate. Which, you know what? I can't say, like, it's not, like, the adrenaline can't kick in and you hear something bad going on. You know, that's
was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, that shit can happen. But this was stupid because this woman is frightened to death through most of this movie of this guy from... never seeing him or anything like that.
Yeah.
But just suddenly at the end, she just like, I gotta go. And goes in. Doesn't try and call the cops when she picks up her phone. Nothing. Just goes in.
And watches him sniff a scalp. Like, that was kind of fun. But like,
I mean, that was kind of fun, but at the same time, it's, okay. She's surprised by seeing the scalps and shit. I want to go into this for a second.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning of the movie, the first girl dies, and they find her body.
And I thought the same goddamn thing.
Okay, if you know this motherfucker scalps girls, and you go into his lair of death, and you see a scalp, yes, you can be shocked by seeing it, but would you be surprised?
The motherfucker that went in a weird direction. Like, I was expecting, like, granted, it went different than I thought it was, so I guess I'll give it that, but, like, I thought it was gonna go, like, because they keep seeing something in his death lair, and it's not showing it. And I thought it was going to be like pieces, like he's collecting body parts and sewing them together.
I thought maybe it would be the corpse of his dead cancer sister.
Or that too, yeah. I kind of thought that. Then it shows it, and it's like a little girl's bedroom, and he's got like a scalp on. What do you call those little like?
And it's just
wig heads,
covered in blood and shit.
Yeah, and he like is
but perfectly made. There's just blood everywhere.
Yeah, there was like blood like on the sheets. Like it was odd, And so, this whole last act, I'm sitting there like, this is fun. Like, I get it. It needs a third act. Okay. Not this. Not what is fucking going on here that is making everyone so fucking goddamn stupid.
Okay. I'm gonna ruin this movie for you people. Because, no, I'm gonna tell you the ending and all this other shit.
We always do that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna flat out ruin this fucking movie. There is gonna be no stone left unturned and so on and so forth. So she gets down there. She's in his little death lair. She's hiding from him. He's sniffing the wig. She's in the room hiding. Close call. Like, clever little point where you think she's hiding in the closet and she's behind the door that's already open. Which, that's a nice little clever little moment. I'll give the writer that. Because it's just like, you expect her to be in the closet and she's not. It's nice. But what this guy is doing to Abigail Breslin down there, so he's a scalper.
Yeah.
But it's just this weird scene where he ties her to a chair.
And then I came in as a pimp and shot him in the head.
He ties her to a chair, puts on Culture Club.
That was kind of,
and starts washing her hair.
Wasn't he listening to Putting on the Ritz in an earlier scene?
Yeah, the musical choices in this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about bad music editing in a minute, too. I'm going to really talk about bad music editing, especially in thrillers. But he's listening to Culture Club, he's washing her fucking hair, he's got her strapped down, he's giving her doses of nitric oxide, because apparently whoever sells him nitrous oxide can't fucking spell.
I didn't notice that.
It's nitric oxide. It's fucking stupid.
I didn't.
It's like they couldn't get the fucking rights to nitrous. I don't fucking know. But he's got her tied to this fucking chair and shit. And he goes back out and he starts with her awake because he's, you know, has to do it while she's alive because the hair will die.
He straight up says that in the movie.
It's like, you know, you're about to take it off her fucking head anyway,
Yeah.
man. She's begging to be killed, which, yeah, good for her. And he starts cutting into her fucking head.
Yeah.
And he gets about halfway. I mean, you gotta think, that cut's probably close to the fucking bone. And then Halle Berry beats him with a mannequin head.
Yeah.
And they get Abigail Breslin loose. They run out. The guy chases him up. Abigail Breslin, with just this very little trickle of blood. Like, great black eye. Giant gash to the bone on her forehead. Just a little bit of blood. Just a little bit of blood. But giant gash. Great looking black eye. Horrible gash. A little bit of blood. Stabs him with scissors.
Yeah.
He's about to get him again. And basically, they knock him down the fucking hole and he's unconscious. And you think, Halle Berry's pulling out her phone.
Fucking retarded.
Halle Berry's pulling out her phone to call 911, and Abigail Breslin says, wait. And then cut. And they have him tied to the chair. They say some very stupid Charles Bronson-ish lines. And leave him there! They fucking leave him there to die after telling him their plan to say that she got away. Halle Berry found her in the woods. The guy disappeared.
They're gonna find him. Either that or he's gonna fucking escape. Good one.
But even beyond that, my problem with it is this. Throughout this entire movie, you're wanting Halle Berry's character to get closure.
Yeah.
That's what you're hoping for. And for this little girl that died and this other
Yeah.
girl that could die. So instead of bringing this fucker to just straight up killing him,
Yeah.
their plan is to hide him away forever so no one can find him.
no one else
So-
gets closure.
So the other poor little girls who's died,
Yeah.
their families get fucking nothing. For they know the person that killed their child is fucking free and clear.
This was so fucking
just
out
to
of
me, that
character.
just it's out of character for both characters because they're both. I don't want to say they're weak characters. I mean, the acting was really solid, but they're not.
They're
action
not
heroes.
Charles Bronson. If
Yeah.
this was a Charles Bronson movie, that would have made sense. You would fucking expect that shit. You would. That would fucking make sense. It would be in keeping with what the tone of the rest
Yeah.
of the movie would probably be.
but
in this, it's so fucking random, out of character. It provides no goddamn closure for any of the other people involved with this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And again, I'm sorry, he could probably fucking escape that shit
Yeah.
if he tried hard enough.
If he tried hard, there's enough shit in that room he could cut the duct tape and get. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's duct taped to a fucking chair.
Yeah.
It's bad, and it's not like the police aren't going to go out there and research that area in the daylight and find that fucking pit with him tied up in it and shit like that. I mean, that's the fucking ending, and it's just. It could have been a passable movie. I mean, with some flaws, some serious flaws, but it could have been a passable
because it
movie.
was suspenseful enough.
Yeah.
And then all of that shit just took a crowbar to it.
Yeah.
Like, I left like, dear God, that was fucking stupid. That's the end of the fucking movie. The audience fucking loved it. I'm
yeah.
not even kidding. There's a guy in the fucking audience who goes,
That was just like Saw.
That was just like Saw. Oh, I'm buying this in a couple weeks when it comes
get
out.
what you deserve.
I'm buying that in a couple weeks when it comes on Blu-ray. They were like, it was a hit with the audience we
Yeah.
had. They were fucking applauding that shit. All
it
this
was just-
stupid fucking shit.
It was the ending ruined what could have been a solid movie. I mean,
It did. It straight up ruined that goddamn movie.
I mean, and
I'm not saying it was a masterpiece to begin with, but it was fine. Like, it was okay. It was basically something like, well, this is kind of like Cellular, but Cellular was a lot better.
no, this movie with the plot description could have been actually give Joel Schumacher that movie, and I actually think he was originally intended to direct that.
I could see that.
Which would have been-
Phone Booth Joel Schumacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a high concept movie like Phone Booth, or like
Yeah.
something you'd see Larry Cohen.
I mean,
write.
if the focus of that movie was really the call center and shit.
But Brad Anderson
He's
is a good
great-
director.
I mean, The Machinist and
Mhm.
Trans-Siberian are both great movies, and then now The Call, and it's just one of those dudes that it's just like, oh man, you break into it it's can't you just, like, fucking keep being good? Like, please. Because there are choices in this movie that I don't think, there had to be some studio involvement in it at some point. There's probably some other shit. But, I mean,
I came away with...
The editing was really fucking weak. Whoever their sound editor was needs to be fucking shot. And I'll tell you the one scene that pissed me off, that took me out of the movie more than anything, and before the third act, was when she's kicking out the taillight.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, very suspenseful scene, because she's just in the car, just awake, just on the phone. That's the first thing they're talking about doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you have him listening to, like, what was the song?
Putting on the Ritz.
You have him in the car listening to Putting on the Ritz, really loud, that you can hear it in the trunk. You have, in the trunk, besides that kind of dimmed down noise, you can hear the wheels, you can hear the freeway a little bit, you can hear the things that are going on. And that's intense enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and in fact, pretty damn intense.
Mm-hmm.
But then, as she starts kicking it out, or knocking it out, they start playing this techno music.
Mm.
And it's just so there's just 2 songs playing, and all the noise, and it's just like, for me, it's just like, that would have been a really great, intense moment,
Mm-hmm.
but the techno music just kind of made, it's like, it was the Q action scene noise, you know? Like, it was so dumb.
It didn't take me out of it. I sort of got why it was there, so it'd be loud enough for her to kick the thing out.
No, but that techno, that was the ambient soundtrack.
Oh.
The techno music was the soundtrack that was over the Putting on the Ritz, over her knocking things out. It's just like, why do you need that fucking techno music there?
There was another issue. There was one issue I had with kind of how the sound was too, and that at one point when he hears that she's awake in the trunk, you can hear Halle Berry on her phone, so it sort of looked like he realized she had a phone on her, because he kind of looks down at the trunk, and you hear Halle Berry, so I thought, okay, so I guess he hears that she's on the phone, and then he doesn't do anything about it. He tells her to shut up, but he doesn't take the phone away, so that was kind of confusing. It was like, wait, so did he just still leave her with the phone, or did he actually not hear it? Because it made it look like he heard it, but later, I guess he didn't, because later on he finds the phone and is like, you cheeky monkey, or whatever. And,
I wish he had called her a cheeky monkey. I really wish he had. That would have made that would have gotten me back to, like, I'm fucking in.
That was kind of an issue with sound that I had a little bit with it, but this was a fairly decent escapist movie for the first about 70 minutes, and the last part just fucking killed all of it.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that, you know what, every once in a while, a fun movie where you get all your closure and shit at the end, and everything ties in together, is a good way. Like, it's sometimes that's really satisfying in a movie. For this, it was not. For this, it's just like, why have dialogue so often about not having closure?
Yeah.
And give everybody closure.
But at least what they did with it, because they did it wrong. Like yeah, it would have been clever if it just kind of did end. That would have been kind of clever. But I get why there's a third act. I do. Just this one, even if they didn't have dialogue earlier about closure and non-closure and all that, even if they didn't have that dialogue, this is still a terrible third act of a fucking movie.
Halle Berry should have never left the call center. That's my theory on it.
I agree. I totally agree with you.
She should have never left the call center.
Yeah.
If she had not left that call center and kept doing her job, but just finally got that break she needed, that would have been a really awesome ending.
I would have been fine with that. I would have recommended the movie.
It would have been really satisfying.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would recommend it, but I'd be like, hey, that's a rental.
I would probably be like, $10, maybe not, but you catch it on, like, the cheap seats, or you rent it. Yeah, okay, sure. I don't even know if, like, with the way this fucking thing ended, like, okay, maybe if you catch it on TV sometime, sure.
Just when you get to the point where it cuts to black for, like, a good 30 seconds, stop. Just stop and make up your own ending, and it'll be 10 times more satisfying to you.
Yeah. Just fucking stop.
Yeah, it cuts. It's seriously black, like 30 seconds. You hear a little bit of dialogue, but just ignore the dialogue and turn the movie off.
Yeah. well, we'll be back in a few with the trailers.
Enjoy the commercials. Totino's.
You're completely cut out.
I don't need to be in this.
We'll get the one commenter like, I really like the part where Max freaking Force, what's his fucking ass face was cut out.
Jesus.
I wrote down on my phone what the trailers we had were, but I accidentally forgot my glasses, so...
Oh, so do I get to read it? Here.
Temptation was the first trailer we had. Tyler Perry presents Temptation with Kim Kardashian.
You just fuck yourself.
He says this to me. Yeah. The trailer ends. Dave looks over at me. He's like, just get this out of the way. Go fuck yourself.
It's just... That movie looks so bad.
We should say the full title.
No, you go right ahead.
Temptation. Confessions of a Marriage Counselor. I swear I saw that movie in the mid-90s. It had Lisa Boyle in it. It was hot.
On fucking Showtime.
Oh, it was hot, dude.
God fucking damn it. Do we even need to describe that trailer? I mean, do we just go watch it and understand that he's gonna make me go see it? and I'm gonna be angry, and I'm gonna say very, very bad things that'll make everybody uncomfortable.
It doesn't look very good.
It looks like a shitty, like, Lifetime TV series with a lot of dudes with their shirts off.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, oh, this looks really bad, and there's the one
Yeah,
flash
like-
scene where he's taking a swing at her, and I'm just like, well, there's a Lifetime channel show.
Yeah, it's like that with like how Stella got her groove back and like shit like that I'm never gonna fucking see. We got G.I. Joe 2 for the 8 millionth time.
I want to see it.
G.I. Joe
I
2.
know it looks so bad, but I want to see. I just want to see London implode. That's all I want to see. And for the North Korean guy shrugging.
That's parts where I love that guy. Like we got fucking bombs all over this world. And like, each country's got like 14, 15 if you count Korea. He's got the fucking North Korea guy sitting there like, what? That's kind of funny. Film Brain tweeted about it the other day, like, God damn it, America, will you stop bombing my shit in your movies? What do you got against fucking London? I can cut that shit out.
And they're just aiming for you, Film Brain. It's revenge for Equilibrium.
Yeah, that's right. G.I. Joe 2 was made because Matthew didn't like Equilibrium.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see what the guy who directed Nuki does to me.
All right, so we got a Heat.
Oh, we got a Red Band trailer for The Heat.
Yeah,
which
The Heat.
I've gotten that several fucking times.
That movie
but
looks so fucking... And then it's like Red Band pops out, and I'm like, holy shit, a Red Band trailer? Awesome! And then that starts, and it's
Why
like,
couldn't
ah!
Why couldn't it have been the Red Band for fucking Kick-Ass 2? I saw the Red Band trailer for that earlier today.
And we did get the trailer
get
for
Kick-Ass
Kick-Ass
2.
which it's a solid trailer.
It is a solid trailer. It looks fun. Jim Carrey looks like a fucking fun.
You know, I love the comic book series. I love the first movie, even though it's very different, not in tone, but in execution than
Yeah.
the comic book series. I thought it was a blast of a fucking movie.
I did
I'm
too.
interested in seeing the second one. I'm a little disappointed Matthew Vaughn's not making it, but, you know, fuck it. You know,
it looks good.
It looks like fun.
Who is directing it?
I don't know. It looks to me like a little bit more of like an action comic book movie.
Yeah.
But you know, the Kick-Ass 2, the comic, is a little more like less like mopey teenager, more like, oh, let's break shit. So
We gotta get a Big Daddy flashback.
I don't know. I hope
Jim
so.
Carrey, Nick Cage. This will be their reunion since Peggy Sue got married.
True. True. Then what else? We got Kick-Ass. Mortal Instruments.
I forgot about that. That's why I write shit down. I would have forgotten about that.
Me
fucking,
too. I would have been like,
that's
oh, no.
not even fucking trying.
It's like the Twilight host, like, beautiful creatures Like, what
At
the
least
fuck?
Beautiful Creatures look like, yeah, it certainly looked like Twilight, but Beautiful Creatures, at least it looked like, well, maybe if you go see it, maybe it'll have its own kind of personality thing going
it's
on.
got
And-
Jeremy Irons. So.
yeah, well, they got Jared Harris for this one.
And
like,
Jared Harris
really?
is fucking awesome.
Like, Jared Harris is awesome. What the fuck's he doing here? But
Money.
like, well, yeah, but
They're like, we need a British guy. Jeremy Irons is already doing Beautiful Creatures.
Yeah. so that was a short trailer too. That was like we just got like a
But
TV spot.
Yeah, that seriously looked like a TV series. It looked like something on the WB.
It's exactly what it looked like. It seriously looked like they made a sequel to fucking Beastly.
No, it looked like a WB show. I don't even know what the plot was. Some girl, like, she's half magical
Twilight.
or some shit. Yeah, she's half magic or some shit like that.
That was completely unapologetic about how much it was ripping. Even going so far as to having like similar music, similar font, saying based on the popular bestseller. Maybe the book is fantastic. I have no fucking idea. But clearly that fucking movie's made because there are not gonna be any more goddamn Twilight movies
You know,
anymore.
and I've read some really dumb shit because I've seen a movie trailer that I'm like, okay, Brad might make me go see this, so
That's Jillian territory.
maybe I was at first I was like, when fucking the Hunger Games came out, I was like, Brad might make me go see this.
I was at Hunger Games.
I'll read the book. So I read because the trailer, I was like, the trailer doesn't look great, but it doesn't look horrible. So I'll read the fucking book, and I read the book, and I mean, it's puerile fucking garbage, but it's entertaining. And so I read the second one, and it's the same thing. It's puerile fucking garbage, but it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, I give it credit for what it is. You know, I mean, it's not great. It's written for children, very obviously, but I mean, it's...
Well, the book, or at least the first book anyway, it's gotten a lot. That has some pretty good moments of brutality.
No,
in
it does, but I mean, just the writing style.
So,
the way,
oh yeah.
It's very
definitely.
easy. I mean, I can usually tear through like a novel in 4 days. Like I read that book in like 7 hours.
Yeah.
And it's like a 200-page book, and I'm just like, da da da.
Hunger Games was one that I liked it. I liked it really until it got to the games.
Because
Like-
it just cut all the fun shit out.
Yeah, it cut all the fun shit out. I couldn't tell fuck all what was going on with the shaky cam
Well,
shit.
My problem with the movie was I finally saw it was the one thing that was actually pretty solid in the book was characterization, and the movie did a terrible job at that.
Some of it, yeah. Some of it did. I thought it did good with Woody Harrelson. I thought Jennifer Lawrence, I thought she was fine in it. Some of the other stuff, like it was some of the flashbacks, like they handled the flashbacks with like the bread and stuff really wrong. That just was kind of confusing. But really the first half of that I thought was way more solid than the second half. The first half I liked that it was really like a satire of like god-awful fucking reality television. I liked that.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
mean,
I like that. Even some parts in the second half, like I liked how they're like forcing like a relationship between the two of them and stuff. I kind of like that.
and that's, you know, and that's what the next two movies are basically about.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I mean, we went really off topic, dude.
we're going to talk about Temptation some more.
No. No. Temptation and We the Peoples, which they've now changed.
I still
Now it's
haven't
just called Tyler Perry's The Peoples. Or just Peoples. I can't remember, but I know they changed the title. It's not We the Peoples anymore.
He's got his ongoing theme, which is making sure that the name, whether it's first or last, of any of his fucking characters is in the goddamn title. Except for Temptation. Unless...
I think he's just a producer.
He's just a producer on that.
Well,
though,
I think
so
he
that
is.
that
I
doesn't
think he's
count.
just a producer on The Peoples too. But I don't care. If you put his name on it, you know what? The only movie anything I've ever been, remotely like exposed to that he had anything to do with was his 30 seconds in Star Trek. And I was just
Yeah.
like, is that fucking piece of shit that does Medea? And it's just like, motherfucker. In the next movie they're going to show his character dressed up as an old lady and I will kick my TV to pieces. I hate Tyler Perry. I hate him so much that, like, it's just, you know whose fault it is? It's fucking Oprah. Fucking Oprah. She keeps just like, oh, these great people. Tyler Perry, Dr. Phil, fuck all of you. Like, my God, Oprah.
And then she gives James Frey shit.
Yeah.
That was that guy's name, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What did he do?
That wasn't that the guy who wrote the book that was like a autobiography, but then it turned out that a lot of it was actually like fake, and she like gave him shit like on her show and like fucking yelled at him and like berated him and shit like that.
Who gives a shit? Was it a good book? That's all that fucking matters. Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes people are shitty with the image they put out about themselves, but you know what?
He's better than Tyler Perry.
But, I mean, there's a lot of people out in the fucking world that their image and their reality are very different, that were incredibly talented. Like fucking Andy Kaufman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I hope to fucking Christ he wasn't really like what he showed himself to be to the world, and people have said that he was actually a very sweet, nice, caring man, but he was a fucking asshole. You know, there's other people out there that, like, present themselves as something for the sake of what they do. Like Sacha Baron Cohen, like, he seems like he has to be the biggest fucking idiot on earth sometimes, but then you find that motherfucker graduated from Cambridge.
Yeah.
You know, like, and did his like fucking thesis on like Jewish subjects. Like, he's not the fucking a piece of shit he presents himself to be.
Yeah.
And it's just sometimes you gotta let that shit go. Now, if that guy was like being dishonest about something really horrible or stupid to get attention for it, you know.
It was like just largely a lot of the book, I guess, is fairly. I barely remember. I just remember like being like, Oprah's kind of coming across as more the asshole in this situation.
Yeah, I mean.
But I don't think we have anything else.
No, we're talking about Oprah. And
we ain't got shit. Next week is The Croods and Olympus Has Fallen.
Olympus Has Fallen. That's going to be fun. I get to see that.
That is if it comes.
Oh, it will come here, goddammit.
It fucking better.
I will make phone calls. I'll get the fans to do a petition. Do a screening of Olympus Has Fallen so I can go see that piece of shit. That movie looks so wonderfully bad. Oh, God.
That looks fun. That looks fucking fun.
I'm at that point where I can sometimes tell if a movie is going to be good or not from the fucking poster, and that poster is so bad.
I'm not even going to be like, I'm obligated to see The Croods because it's got Nicolas Cage in it, so I almost don't want to be in the car when you guys review Olympus Has Fallen because I don't want it spoiled for me because I want to see it. Wouldn't it be great if in
The Croods, like, suddenly it just changes tone and Nicolas Cage his character starts doing Nicolas Cage shit, like screaming and punching women?
Fuck yeah. It's in 3D too, it'll be fucking awesome. See ya.